Hey guys, what's up? We have some information about how to use Grinder Golem and how to deal with the spirals. The basic idea of Grinder Golem is that when you summon it to your opponent's side of the field, it provides you with 2 tokens which can be used as a link summon. You have to think back, certain link monsters do not require specific monsters, whether that be effect or otherwise. Sometimes it just specifies monsters. You will want to make either a Link Karibo or an Akashic Magician, which can return your Grinder Golem back to the hand. In order to recycle it, then you bring it out again to bring out additional tokens that can go into further link summons. I have seen personally from my own experiences on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Percy that this is a very common occurrence. Lots of players are using this. I've seen some players also use Security Dragon as a secondary link monster, or even sometimes, just to be that much more difficult, a Firewall Dragon to return it back to the hand. Now, the reason this is a problem is returning cards are becoming more of an issue. The last time this effect was actually that relevant was back a considerable amount of time ago, way before the link format, which was just before pendulums, as the extra deck monsters would be sent back to the extra deck. So you're talking about the Xyz era here. However, with pendulums being returned to the hand, this meant they could have just been summoned back to the field the next turn. This provides a dangerous precedent, and there needs to be a clear means of dealing with this card. The problem is not Grinder Golem itself, as before this, it never saw a mention within the game, despite being released in Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson as a super rare back on the 26th of January 2008.
That spell fully charges my spell chronicle, and now you must choose again. Only 2 left. Which will you pick? I assume you'll pick Grinder Golem, thinking that might leave you with a fighting chance.
I believe the only time we saw Grinder Golem in the anime was in Yubel's hand, near the end of the duel between herself and Jane Yuki, which was the final duel to finish off the 3rd season. Other than that, we have not seen any appearances of it. The article mentions a Grinder Golem deck based on using Akashic Magician to reuse Grinder Golem, whilst certain cards such as Dotscaper to the graveyard and Doomdog Okros to search for the Grinder Golem itself. It mentions 1 Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the beginning. It's basically a beater that can finish off your opponent. It mentions 3 Grinder Golems, the main monster of the deck, to abuse. 3 Radiant, the multi-dimensional kaiju, a monster to deal with your opponent's extra deck monsters. 1 Blackwing Go Through the Vague Shadow to summon a link monster as it produces tokens. So in a sense, you can go into a Link 3 monster. 3 Fairy Tale Luna, a card to return Grinder Golem to the hand. 3 Doomdog Okros, this searches out your Grinder Golems. 2 Dandelions, they create a couple of tokens when they are sent to the graveyard to make more link monsters. 1 Glow Up Bulb, which can be resummoned as a link material. 1 Dotscaper is able to revive itself twice. 1 Foolish Burial, which can set up for your turn, such as for your Glow Up Bulb play. 2 Pot of Desires, this is your go-to draw card. However, you can get rid of your best cards, that is the usual downside of this card. 1 Monster Reborn, obviously this is an OCG list. Monster Reborn in the TCG is forbidden at this moment. That's to bring back a stronger monster. 3 Scapegoats, This is a token creating card and is probably the most effective token creating card as it produces 3 tokens. It's also a quick play spell card, which means it can be activated at your opponent's end phase, so you are not limited, you're not restricted for the downsides, which typically mean you cannot summon that turn. 1 soul charge, it's very self-explanatory. It brings back cards which can be used for link summon. 2 Pot of Avarice, you'll be going through so many cards that you'll want to return as many as you can back to your deck. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, this is for back row removal. 1 Dark Hole, that's for mass monster removal. 3 Allure of Darkness, yet another draw card. 1 for 1, discard a card to bring back your glow up bulb. 2 Evenly Matched, prevents your opponent from having more cards on the field than yourself, and punishes them by banishing their cards. It's equal to the difference. 3 Call of the Haunted, to revive your monsters. 2 Borolo Dragon, it's basically a beatstick monster that can finish your opponent. 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon, this is a mass destruction monster. 3 Firewall Dragon, these return your Grinder Golems to your hand. 1 Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow, it's a beatstick normal vanilla link monster. 2 Akashic Magician, these return your Grinder Golems. 2 Code Talker, which can keep itself on the field. 2 Link Spider, which enables a special summon quickly. And a Link Karibo, which can continue to resummon itself and opens a zone for the extra deck monsters. As for the spirals, it mentions Spiral Sleeper and Spiral Gear Last Resort will enable Sleeper to destroy cards on the opponent's turn with no problems. The ability to use Quick Fix with Machine Duplication to bring out more copies from the deck. This can let you search for 3 Spiral cards to the hand. Double Helix's effect has the ability to get Grace onto the field and begin your combos. In terms of how to deal with them, they recognize this as a problem and mention with Double Helix and Quick Fix, as well as Sleeper's Disruption, you should use Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. To stop their searches, you must use Droll and Lockbird, and to deal with their boards, use Evenly Matched, Kaijus, and Dark Hole to remove their cards. So, what do you think of the Grinder Golem? For me, I've just downloaded Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro 2, and most of the decks I see are using this combo. It does start to get a bit boring, so I would love to know what do you do to counter this deck. As for the spirals, how do you intend to deal with them? At the time of recording this, I am aware they have received an emergency ban list, weakening them, but they still have ways to work around this, especially with the new Link monsters. I'm sure they'll somehow abuse those, and I'm sure people will find alternatives to place within their decks. Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.